Hello, it's Amy with Just a Little Ink. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Out of Littleton, Colorado. And I'm here today to share with you the thank you notes that I'm going to be mailing to my customers in the month of March. My stamp club for the last couple months has been using the Dragonfly Garden Bundle. It is found in the Dandy Garden Suite. On pages 24, actually all the way through 26, 27 actually on the other page. But we've been using this the last couple months, and so it's the stamp set I'm going to be using in the suite of products to create my thank you notes. And I loved this simple layout. Kind of tweaked a design I found, and I love how it highlights this beautiful Dandy Garden 6x6 Designer Series paper that coordinates with. There are 12 different designs, two-sided, and you get 4 each of, I'll kind of get them out here. They are so much prettier, as are all of our papers in person. But this is the one side, and then when you turn it, it's more of a muted. And so there are so many different design options, but you get 4 each of these 12 different two-sided designs. And so this is the card I'm going to be sharing. I'm going to be making some varieties of this layout just because of the different prints. So let me get started. So again, we're using the Dragonfly Garden Bundle. So I'm using the Dragonfly Garden stamp set, as well as the Dragonfly's Punch that coordinates with. What you need to make this, and you can get a lot of these out of just some simple supplies. You need a half a sheet, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 of our basic white thick cardstock. You'll need a piece of 2 1/8 by 5 1/4 of, I'm using on this particular card, the Blackberry Bliss. The beauty of that is that you come across, you are left with very little of the Blackberry Bliss left over, because you get 4 pieces along your half sheet. And then I cut the 6x6 paper down into 2 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I think I said this was 5 1/4, it's 5 3/8. All of these measurements I will have on my blog, justalittleink.com. So if you missed any of them, you can catch them there. And I'm also going to be using some Blackberry Bliss ink. So again, super, super quick. So let's get started. You will be done in no time at all. So I'm going to fold this in half. I've actually had this particular piece folded already. I'm going to pull out my Dandy bone folder. Can't think of names today. So then I'm going to just layer these 2 pieces together. Use my wonderful Stampin' Seal. I love this stuff now that I'm getting a little more used to the simplicity of how it pulls off the tape and is such a quiet running adhesive. So I got that. I'm going to take and adhere it to the left side of my card. This paper really just is the star of the show, and so it gives it where you don't really need to do a lot. Like so. Then I'm going to use, you could use any of them you wanted. I'm going to be using from the stamp set the greeting that says, "May good things grow all year long." And that way, the person I'm sending it to can choose to use it for whatever they want. I do not write in my thank you notes. I send them with an envelope, and it's unused inside of another envelope so that they can use the card. And I write on a little Post-it note. I do that for anyone who orders from me. So there's my greeting. And then I want to stamp. I'm choosing the Dragonfly that happens to have the solid body. There are 2 different images in the stamp set. So one with a solid body and one with one you color in, and you can color in if you desire. So then I'm going to stamp my Dragonfly. onto my scrap piece of cardstock. This is just a scrap piece. It's about 2 3/4 by 2 1/2 of basic white. This is not the thick, although you certainly could. And then I use these little Post-it notes. They make great fingers for my scraps when I am punching things out. So I'm just lining it in. You could be as fancy or as simple as you want on this Dragonfly. I'll punch him out. I'll keep this for another time. And then what I did is turned him over. I'm going to put just a couple of my mini dimensionals on his body. And then I wanted to lift up this back part of his body. And so all I did was come in with my paper snips and snipped off a little tiny piece of that extra on the edge. I use all of my dimensionals. I don't leave any for the garbage can. You can use all that edge piece. So it works so well. So then I'm just going to line him up, deciding where I want it. I think I'll come in a little further over here. And then I liked it with a little bend in his wings. You saw me doing that when I opened up my video here, so that I get a little bit of lift there. And just like that, I have a card, but needs a little bit of bling. So I pulled in these elegant faceted gems, and I'm going to use some of the clear ones. I could use any of them, to be honest. Kind of liked the look it gave. So I'm going to pull up using with my pickup tool. I'm going to put one here. And I'm going to use a couple of those smaller ones just to scatter them. You know me, I like threes. So I'm going to put one up here, like so. And just like that, I have a very simple thank you note to send to my customers. So thanks so much for joining me. If you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd so appreciate it if you did. And if you aren't receiving notifications, if you click the bell, you can be receiving notifications anytime I post a new video. Thanks again for joining me. See you next time. Happy stamping.